Hey guys, so I started to repot and reshape my jades, and then it dawned on me that I should probably make a video and show you guys what I'm up to. I did one already. I kind of changed the whole branch structure of it. Um, so it's this one here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I will pan down. So it's that jade here. If you guys remember, this is the Crosby that I bought off of Marketplace. It got shipped, I think it was right before winter, and it was all damaged. Some branches broke. The branches were growing in one direction, and it just wasn't very nice. So this one here, you can kind of see it. It's two different plants, and it's basically they have the same shape. It's kind of like a Y shape like this. So if you imagine, putting two Ys together, so it looks like this. It's not a very good trunk. So what I did was I kind of turned one this way and moved it down lower so that it looks more like a single plant. I cut some material off, kind of sliced down the side of this one, sliced down the side of this one, and then I taped them together. I'm hoping that they will fuse together and become one trunk. So it's a little more interesting. You can kind of see that, again, they have the same shape, this branch here and this branch here. However, I moved this plant down a little bit so that the branches aren't kind of even with each other. So it draws your eye away from kind of the symmetry of that. So that's why it looks like this. I kind of prune off the majority of the foliage there to kind of get better branch structure. You will notice that stuff like this is not super ideal. It's just a straight, really long, straight section. Nothing I can do with this one because I don't really want to chop that one down and make this guy the main branch. So this one on the left here is a lot thicker, so that's going to be my main. I'm hoping eventually there'll be branches growing out so it takes your eye away from the just long, straight section. So yeah, that's my Crosby. It has been outside for about a week, and the leaves already started to turn kind of red. The one up here, also right here, also turned slightly red. I'm not able to give it full sun, which is okay right now, because when you kind of first take it outside from being inside, you want to transition it out. So an east side is probably perfect, east facing window, because it gets the least amount of light besides the north. The north doesn't really get any. So you transition it out to the east so that it doesn't get burnt, and gradually you'll give it more light and eventually full sun. So yeah, that's that one. Now we'll pan back up to this plant. Sorry about that. But yeah, so this plant, if you remembered when it first started out, it was really full. It was kind of like a mushroom shape. It looked pretty nice, except for it covered up all the branch structure. What I'm showing you is the back right here. The front I've already kind of butchered or pruned quite a bit. So it was kind of like this mushroom structure, and it covered everything. This is just all foliage. That's not something that I want. I know some viewers had expressed, that they like that style of jade plant. For me, I mean, there's no right or wrong way of how you want your plants to look. Every way is the right way, but for me, the most beautiful part of the plant to me is the branch and the trunk structure. So that's kind of what I want to focus on. Also, how you do the padding or the top is also nice too, but it has to kind of fit with the plant for me. What I don't want is, if and conditions are very important. How much light you give it will kind of dictate how the branch grows. So if you have really poor light, you know, the plant is smart, it's going to prune itself, which this plant has done. I was not able to give it enough light. It basically got almost zero sunlight. It was just all artificial and not you know, designated light for the plant. It was just kind of ambient light. So you can see kind of the new growth that came out was kind of small, so I'm pruning all of that back. We'll be pruning this to kind of get the ramification that we want, get more spreading. You can see that some of the branches in here have gotten long, and it just doesn't look nice. So we're going to be pruning it back, and hopefully, you know, it'll just in time for it to get more sunlight, and we will get more branching out of this guy. So I'm going to zoom in here and move this other plant out of the way. And going into here, you can kind of see that pruning has already begun. You can see that I kind of pruned all of it back. Whatever was really long, I kind of pruned back. This one's still kind of long for me. I pruned it back to anywhere from 1 to 3 nodes. And then from there, we'll get it to, you know, branch out. So just gonna check to make sure I'm still in focus here. Yep. So what we want to do is we're gonna go through one of the major branches. So this is my front. Yeah, so this is my front. You will notice right away that this branch is kind of coming out at us, and it's really long. That's not something that I want. There's also another branch in the back here, this guy here, that is also very long and uninteresting. Those are the two that have major issues right now. I'm deciding whether or not I want to prune those back to 2 to 3 nodes. The one in the back we could probably get away with, just because it's kind of out of sight. We do have this one here that's kind of covering it up and breaking that straight line. So I may keep that one. And the only reason why I'm keeping it is because it's in the back. But the one up front, I think I'm going to want to prune. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know that this is kind of scary for a lot of you, but I have faith that this plant is going to bounce back and do just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do that at this point in time. So these nodes are kind of short, so we could probably get away with, and this being a bigger branch, we can get away with it being a little bit longer. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes that I could keep. However, I see that the scar is shows the branch going straight up here, and that's not ideal. So the next one, we either have to go to this next one to make it a little bit longer, or the shorter one to get the branches to grow out from the sides. So, I mean, to make it equal with this section here, and all the other sections, I think we will go with the next one up. So we're just going to go and we're going to prune this right here. Okay. And then we're just going to go through here and just kind of cut everything back that is too long. So right away, this guy here, too long, I'm going to cut it back to 2 nodes. And we'll just continue to go through and do that for all of these. you can kind of see a better view of this. You can just see how long this is. Ideally, when you're pruning this, you can see how long this is, and then the next section up here gets smaller. Next section up here gets smaller. Next section up here gets even smaller. So it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Of course, over time, these are going to get longer, and then you'll get more branches. But I don't want this to get enormous, so pruning it back is fine. I'm not trying to get huge growth out of this, but by getting the ramification and more branching, you'll thicken up the trunk, and it eventually it will get bigger. So that's why we're doing this. You can't, how we had it, and we just let it grow out. It's just going to look really sparse, long, and scraggly, and it's just not going to look like the strong, healthy plant that it was. So people kind of just let their jades grow or their plants grow and be whatever. But if you're looking for this tight, branch structure, you got to constantly prune it back, and it goes through this period of looking like a skeleton to looking pretty, and then going back and looking like a skeleton. So that's what we'll have to do here, and a good time to do it is just right before spring or at spring, so then you get this kind of flush of new growth right away. If you do it during a non-growing season, like right before winter and stuff, you may get some undesirable growth, like small, scraggly growth, or it may just go dormant for a while and not grow too much. But yeah, for this one here, I'm going to consider this a side branch, and this is going to be the main branch. I'm going to cut this one a little shorter than this one. So this one we want to be probably right about here. So this one I'm going to cut back just a little bit to make it not so symmetrical. I think I cut too close to that node there, so we're going to have to go back just a little bit more. Right there. This guy, we'll go here. Go here. So there's a weird thing going on with this back portion of the branch. So we want this to be the top. However, this side branch here is actually even thicker than this top branch. So what we're going to have to do is kind of prune it back even harder. I mean, ideally, I think we got to prune back pretty hard down here, but I don't know that I want to do that. And because it's in the back, I don't think it's going to matter too much. So I will prune it back, but I don't know if I want to prune it back that far yet, so I'll just prune it here. Well, I guess I got to decide now, because those would make some pretty good cuttings. And now would be the time to do it, because you don't really want it to grow grow too thick. So we look at the front again, which is right about there. We don't want these side branches to be taller than that, because we're trying to get this type of structure. And right now, I think this side branch is also it's too long. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to prune this back, at least this guy for sure. this is a tough one. So I've pruned it back here. It's already lost a branch. It'll come out like that, which is fine. Or I could wire this down a little bit, which I might just do. I think I'll do that. I think I'll wire it. Let's leave it for now. I'll wire it down. The one in the back we're gonna have to do something about. I don't know that I want to prune it too hard at this point in time, so I think I'm just gonna prune it here. And then of course these guys have to go. This guy's got to go back pretty hard though, so I'll just take it back here. I really want to cut this guy right here. You got to be careful when you wire these two. Right now it has a lot of water in it, so it's very crispy. If you do really want to do a major wire on jade, you want to dehydrate it. Don't water it for a really long period of time, and then the branches will become a lot more flexible. So when you go to wire it, it will bend with the wire instead of breaking. It's very easy to break the jade when you're wiring it now at the nodes, because it's like celery, you know. It's you ever had fresh celery, you can kind of snap it, but celery that's been sitting out on the counter for a day starts to get really rubbery. So not quite sure what I want to do there. I do think it needs to get pruned back though. Yeah, let's do it. That one needs to prune back there, and this guy will go here. And we'll continue around. So now that we're doing that, I might as well just prune this long branch that we were talking about. Yeah, let's just do it. And again, I got excellent cuttings here to start other plants. I don't know if I want a million cuttings, to start a million cuttings, and I'd have too many plants again, so I'll probably give some of this stuff away. Too long here. think this guy is just way too long now. Yeah, we'll have to prune him back to about here. And this guy may be too long, too straight, and uninteresting. May also have to prune that. There's quite a long section here that has nothing. Yep. So now we got to decide, do we want to prune it back to here? Or back to here? Which makes more sense, right? So this is good. We've kind of established our peak again here. But then again, I think I want this guy to be the apex eventually. But I can't prune this guy anymore because there's nothing else there. I suppose I still could. So if I prune this guy has to go. Which is fine, I think. All right, I think we're done there. We basically took everything off. So that's the front right there. Well, stay tuned, and hopefully we get a flush out sooner rather than later, and I can get an update video for you guys. Till next time.